Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? We here with Eli Acapella, the MC.
Eli Capella, nigga.
Acapella?
No. Eli Capella.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know my man's.
It's it's the
Eli. No, because I looked it up on Spotify and it wasn't coming up. And I'm like, then I went to SoundCloud and it was like Eli Capella.
Yeah.
And
so
like,
it's a run-on word. So it's
yeah.
meant to sound like acapella, but just add Eli Capella.
Now, if y'all don't know, y'all know, but
Right.
Eli Capella.
Yup.
There we go. MC, educator, event planner,
Yes, sir.
hustler.
Yes, sir.
He get into it.
Let him know.
Come on, he working. If y'all don't see him work, I see him working. He
Appreciate
working.
that. Yeah.
You feel me? How you feeling, bro?
I feel good, man. Got my workouts popping today.
Facts.
Got my water, feel me, from the Poppy store.
That's a fact.
And yeah, I'm just here, man. We chilling on the couch, get this draw popping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
So, speaking on your hustling and your work ethic, you've been moving a lot this year. You know what I'm saying? You dropped 2 projects.
Yeah.
2 projects. If y'all ain't listened to that, definitely go tune in.
Thank you.
The last one, you know what I'm saying? You see the shirt he got on.
Yep. All that.
They if y'all ain't caught that, y'all missed out. But
Them y'all's done.
the
so
hoodies,
yeah.
the hoodies is on the way. So you got the the early, you know what I'm saying, right here. Definitely look out for the hoodies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just talk to us about your mindset and like why you be in your bag, like why you get to it, how you get to it.
Yeah. Where do I even start, man? I come from two sides of the coin when it come to my family. So on my mom's side, I would say that the majority of my mom's side of the family is middle class.
Okay.
Her ethnicity, she's a first generation Dominican American. Feel me? And DR, my abuela, like my cousins, my aunts, and all that, they own property at that joint. So they're in real estate and renting and flipping apartments and furnishing and gutting things out like that. On my dad and my dad took more peer pressured induced entrepreneurial endeavors. Feel me? So he came up, during the crack epidemic, and the epidemic pretty much took my grandma and just like turned her whole life around. Feel me? Her as well as so many other households. Feel me? So she had an addiction that she was struggling with that wouldn't allow her to further parent my dad. So my dad, like any other average black man that grew up in the 80s and 90s, he was in fear and he didn't want to be in fear no more. He wanted to feel like he belonged to something because that void of a mother and a father was just gone. So he ended up selling weed, crack, just different forms of paraphernalia, and he learned how to market his product through that way. I say when it came to me, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm lazy. Like I'm lazy in the American sense. I don't want to work a 9 to 5.
Right.
Like it's boring. Like every 9 to 5 I try to work, UPS, Diesel, Amazon, I either got fired or I quit. Like my soul literally couldn't digest the reality that I was living in. I couldn't do that. And what ended up happening was I didn't really have a lot of people who were willing to guide me at certain points in my artistry, but I started to come across people like E the Poet MC, Kyle the Conductor, Ron Green from Tribe Worldwide, Sarai Nicole, feel me? Like a lot of people don't know, but she started a cultural movement at 18. I don't even think she realized what it was that she was doing. The first time I met her was at Candy Night open mic, and that joint had over 100 people in there. Now a lot of people don't know this. I came from a network that was like after the Young Savage era. Feel me? Prior to the Young Savage era, you had like the Meek, Quilly, Hattie, like just headshots. You feel me? So I was coming in after after and kind of during the last leg of the We Run the Streets vibes, you mean?
Right.
Philly network, real cutthroat, you mean? Real, it's a strong gravity and tense environment when you walk into that joint. Like, I used to come into shows by myself, and that was against the status quo because you had to be a Philly hood rapper nigga with a lot of shorties or like a lot of friends, and after you perform, your friends would leave with you. So you taking the fan base with you, and you're eliminating any possibility of networking and growing. I came in different. First of all, I had the naivety to actually want to be in the moment. So when I would come to open mic, like I remember the Black and Noble open mic Jones on Wednesdays. Feel me? Athon was at them Jones. Food was at them Jones.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, it used to be like at best 10 niggas in that joint. No AC is in the summertime. Hot as hell.
Top floor.
Oh my gosh, strongest finesse ever. They had water, but the water was like $5. Yo.
Super alkaline.
Yeah.
Niggas like, what is that?
It's all these intelligent books on one side, and it's like Buffy the Body on the other
for the
side.
hood. Got shit to the hood. Come on. Balance.
Yeah, you mean? And like those kind of environments really groom me. So fast forward, coming across the people, they instilled the confidence in me to do what I thought you could only do when you got famous, what I thought you could only do when you got signed, you know, selling your merchandise, curating concerts, founding an open mic series, and different things like that. And I realized, nah, you don't gotta be famous. You have to have the audacity to say, yo, I don't need a label I don't need a label. I don't need people's permission or validation to get my grind on. So when you see these shirts, I'm not just selling the shirt like the shirt is dope. I'm selling the intention.
Fact.
I mean, that goes for a show that I do. Anything I do, I never focus on the money because money is everywhere. Like money always comes out. I always say, what is the why? What is the story? You know what I mean?
Money is a metaphor. You know what I'm saying?
Money is a metaphor.
It represents energy. I think I saw that. It's on my Facebook memory, so that's why. But still, money represents energy, and that's why I'm buying a product. You feel me? This Dre shirt right there. I copped this shirt off my man's too, but I'm buying the product because I support my man's and what he stands for, and I see the vision, and I want to be a part of the vision. So for all you artists out there, if you try and sell me or somebody else some stuff, and we don't got no type of relationship, or you know what I'm saying, or your page, I just can't connect with your page. Like you gotta build some type of rapport or some type of something to connect with the people you're selling to. Like who's your target audience and how are you connecting?
Exactly.
And but yeah, just want to put that out there because y'all be wilding sometimes. It
ain't even just the rappers. Like I be walking around sometimes and like I be peeping the marketing strategies of like the new age weed dealers.
Yeah.
Like it's so scary. Like yo, I got the weed out. I'm like, bro, do you believe in your product? Like
no, not at all.
I mean.
Or at B&O, as soon as you walking up steps, loud out.
Yeah.
Doms, Nicks, Doms. Bro, I got it. Like,
it's those two extremes, bro. It's either so with those two extremes, you don't believe in your product. One, you're either gonna be obnoxious,
right,
knowing that you're gonna get denied because you're afraid of the fear of being rejected from just being authentic, or you're gonna have false humility. It's the same way when it comes to women. Like that's why when a woman walk past, niggas is rude. Like niggas is belligerent off the rip because they expecting to get played because they don't love themselves. You know what I mean?
Or they may come off soft, and then when they get played, they talking crazy. So
you know, she hurt me, and you know she was mean. This, that, and the third. So makes sense. You gotta walk that thin line. You feel me? Like, I believe in this product. I'm not so crazy to charge $100 because I understand my market. but I also had faith that somebody would be willing to put $25 of their dollars into this shirt because of what it represents. And me, one thing I always stress to artists, like I would say, I was talking to my homie, and I'm not gonna say his name, but he put a post up, like he put like a memory of a poll, and in the poll he said, "Should I put merch out?"
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, he was upset, like, "Yo, I bought these shirts and nobody caught them." I hit him up with the quickness, like, "Nigga, take this down, bro."
Yeah.
Number one, I looked on your page. You look good in everybody else's stuff except for yours,
Where
bro.
your stuff at? I gotta see. As soon as I come on your page, I gotta see your stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy, come on.
You know what I mean?
Promote you.
Yeah, stop being fake humble.
And that's something I appreciate too. Like Eli on his stories, like he steady dropping game to people. Like, yo, talk your shit. Like you the best. You feel me?
Talk
like
your
believe
shit,
it.
man.
Talk it. Believe it. Let people know. Don't be all this humble humility. Like, no, you work too hard to. You know what I'm saying? He grinding too hard not to, promote himself to the top standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's passive aggressive. I mean, like, when I used to do that, I used to do it with the hidden intention of, "Oh no, bro, you doing your thing, bro."
Yeah, like they come back and
it's like I'm looking for the
myself.
validity of a nigga that work a 9 to 5 that tell me that I'm doing a good job. And there's no offense to anybody that works a 9 to 5. If there's stability, like if you enjoy the stability,
right,
and it makes your day, like the lady that I go to at the post office when I'm delivering my shirts, she love her job. Like bro, she will back up a line because she having a 5-minute conversation with me while she packaging my shit. Like I'm like, dope. So if that's what you like, cool. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So no, I can't afford to be fake humble. You know what I mean? Like I got way too much. Like I got way too much going on with my purpose, and my purpose intersects with other people who don't know their purpose yet. Like my kids. So they gotta see. Like, it's kind of like your favorite drug dealer, feel me? Or like a 70s pimp, you know what I mean? We don't love them because they silent, you know what I mean? We love them because they loud and they boisterous and yeah, like
yeah, we gravitate towards that. Because, you know what I'm saying, you see the confidence in them, and you respect niggas that's confident and they carry their stuff. Yeah. And it's like, that's what we strive to be as well, if we're not that. So it only makes sense. Rep what you do.
Yeah.
Throw it up.
Yes, sir.
So what would be your inspiration in music, like coming up, and like and just now and in general, like what you listen to?
That's a good question. So coming up, one of the first artists. So I break it up into different sections. So I say subconsciously, Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament, Funkadelic, Hall and Oates. That's like from my step pop. Me, from being in his car, Ron in my mom car. Feel me? Sean Paul, TKO crew, like a lot of old school reggae, a lot of old school bachata, like Anthony Santos, Aventura, feel me? Hella old school hip hop. Eric B and Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, mainly 90s R&B. You got your Jodeci's, you got your Tony Tones.
All day.
When I'm riding in my dad's car, in the front seat of my dad's car at 5 years old, I ain't had no business in that front seat. A lot of D Block, a lot of Jadakiss and Styles P, you feel me? A lot of Hove, a lot of Jay-Z. And I say now, if you look on my phone now, it's a plethora of artists, feel me? Erykah Badu is in my rotation a lot. Solange, honestly, I'm not even trying to be cool. A lot of local talent, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Chuck Acid, James Olive,
Got to.
Soraya Nicole, it's a lot to name, but I gotta shout them out because I see them in the same light as I see some of the major artists,
for
feel
sure.
me? And that's the way that I look at them. Like, so yeah, shout out to everybody that I just named. C Rush, I'm blasting your music too. He called himself C Rush the Innovator, like, and he make his own beats. He mix and master all his shit. It is really, really, really dope. Feel me? So yeah, shout out to everybody that's living as if they already made it. You know?
Yeah,
That's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, that's just a little something, man, of
Facts.
what I'm listening to.
Because if you living like you made it, you know what I'm saying, you just magnetizing that reality towards you. It's only a time. It's not too far away, essentially. Like, you just keep putting out your work, and that reality is going to catch up to your mindset.
Yeah.
Cause you already there, like, so it's like, yeah, I already knew I was going. I already knew I'm high. I'm just waiting for y'all to catch on type time. So it's like, you lit. You come on, you lit. I was listening to the last two projects to refresh myself. You feel me? I was listening in the summertime. Ant threw it on while we was painting this crib.
Yeah.
You Can't Save Me, so had that drum bumping, and then threw it on recently because it's like got refreshed on my man's music.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, you mentioned like how music is healing, and can you like speak on that process, like how that works for you?
I don't think that music is the healer.
Right.
I think it's the catalyst to the healing.
Yeah.
You feel me? Music has always been one of the primary ways that I'm able to process my thoughts and emotions. Feel me? Because I grew up so I grew up as an extrovert who was forced into being the introvert.
What you mean by that?
My mom was traumatized by her childhood, and she also was a victim of armed robbery. So growing up, and also she was traumatized. Like let's just be real. She was traumatized by the men in her life.
Facts.
I mean, men who were masculine, but they had a lot of hurt in them. Feel me? So they didn't know how to love, how to instill love in that masculinity. Feel me? So they were able to provide security, but they still instilled fear into my mom, or they instilled the mistreatment, so on and so forth.
Right.
And my mom didn't want me to be that. So when it came to necessary topics that needed to be discussed, like sex, like how to be in a relationship with women, I never got that. And of course there were other variables like working, going to school, just different things like that. So she never really let me off the block for like a very long time. And if I wasn't doing an extracurricular, then I had to come straight home. Feel me? And I couldn't really go out as much. But on my dad's side of the family, my dad like, no, like you can't be out here oblivious to what's around you. Like I don't, like my dad always said, I don't want you walking around thinking there's sunshines and rainbows and there's bullets and gun smoke. Like you just can't do that. So that duality led me to be very rebellious when I lived in my mom's crib. And many people don't know that I have a stutter. Like so, but prior to me rapping, essentially stuttering is when one part of your brain is when both sides of your brain are trying to work while you're trying to speak. So it causes like a glitch. You know what I mean? So rapping alleviated that.
Wow.
Because the music, I'm not a neuroscientist and nothing like that, but I would assume that the energy that I had to put into music and performance probably caused one side of my brain to focus on the music and the other part to talk. So that muscle memory probably,
They say when you play an instrument, you're using both sides of your brain, and when you use both sides of your brain, it souls together and it forms dendrites. So I would say it's the same process, basically, like playing an instrument, because I'm saying one side is the emotional, one side is the logical, and you putting it together to form your your track and create the sound that you want to create. So.
That's a really great. That's a really good synopsis. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I used to take speech classes, bro. My stutter was so bad, bro. I couldn't talk, like, and you know, school is a motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna just be candid, yo.
Facts.
School, dog, like
that shit trauma in itself.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
School, like, yo. I remember in middle school when all my friends, air quotes, ran into the class like, yo, Eli, we heard that new song when you were T-Pain. That shit was hot. I'm like, what? Is on my blaming it on the yo, bro. And I can look back and laugh at that now. But bro, like,
when that hit,
oh my god,
that
like,
hurt.
And it was so bad that I couldn't really. I was afraid to talk to people. And my social skills were very low because I was never out. Like the Dollar Party Jams, 923, like that wave.
Yeah.
I saw that wave from the screen of my computer.
Right.
Like I missed it. You feel me? I didn't get the Wu-Tang in the circle and like, you know, all that stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm an extrovert, but it kind of turned me into an ambivert because I had to learn how to recapture that childhood that I missed. Through music.
Yeah, you definitely hear it on the bars.
Yeah,
the bars tape. He talk about it like basically what he was just speaking about just now. Like you hear it in his rhymes, and that's basically what I was going to talk about next. Is like, you know, the vulnerability in his music is heavy.
Yeah.
And like how does that translate in your life? Because like you were saying, the music helped you process your thoughts and emotions. For me, that's the same too. So the question is like, so when you started recording more or started to like work on your craft more, you felt like it took it to the next level, like you were able to, you know, like level up with how you deliver like thoughts and emotions and stuff?
Yeah, so I would say prior to Bars, the project that I put out prior to Bars was Illa Dwellers. Yeah. And the first mixtape I ever put out was Time Will Teach You. So Time Will Teach You was the Eli who wanted to prove himself as an MC. And I thought that you just had to check off all the boxes of what an MC is. You feel me? Like lyrical ability, you feel me? Studying the history of how hip hop came to be, like really doing the knowledge and having the packaging of what a record looks like, feel me? And so that's what I thought in that mixtape. That was the barometer, you feel me? When I got to Illa Dwellers, I was living in Kensington at that time. I was living right on Kensington and Allegheny on F Street. So I was in the midst of the heroin pandemic that we in now. Many people don't know that area is the heroin capital of the world. Yeah, feel me? So like the story that my dad was talking about when it came to the crack epidemic, I was living it through the heroin epidemic. And it was I didn't realize it until I moved that I was literally on fight or flight mode every day. Venturing through that joint, like I remember when the shorty came through and I had to like get her out of the shootout. Like we were in the middle of the shootout, feel me? And I had to get her out of that joint. And a lot of people don't know, me and Knowledge lived in that joint. Like Knowledge lived down the street. So when people saw us, this was during the time that we had the high top fades and the colorful clothes. They probably thought that we was from Winfield or something. Nah, nigga, this ain't no Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, bro. Like we really
in the mix, in the
trenches heavy. You know? So that's when I turned into like a news forecaster, feel me? Like talking about what I saw, but I created characters because I still didn't see the relevance of my life yet. Feel me? Like I thought, like it was still kind of like I was like leaning out of the checking the boxes kind of mentality, but it was still that like, all right, now I can show niggas that I'm hard because this is where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like I was smoking a lot of weed. Feel me? I was having relations with a lot of women, I saw guns. I saw people shooting up, and I saw that all my life, but it was just magnified that day because you just there. You feel me? Like the rats running across the floor, garbage everywhere. So I forecasted that, and I wanted to show how dark I could get. I'll never forget this conversation. It's this boy named Shane. He was one of the executive producers for Chuck Ass's Never Ending Mixtape. A lot of people don't know that. I played Illegales for him, right? And I played Liar. He's like, alright. He's like, alright, yeah, skip that joint. I'm like, alright. I played the next joint. Listen, it's like, yeah, man, you could just skip that joint. He like, yo, to me, you trying to sound like it sound like you trying to prove to niggas that you're this with the production that you choosing the Texas. I'm like, what? No, nigga, no. Like I'm trying to explain myself to bull, but he just like, nigga, why your cover so red? Like, let me get some blue in that shit or something, dog. Like, why I gotta be so dark? Like, I'm like, I felt defeated. Like, I was offended because nobody ever put a mirror in front of me like that. Like when it came to my music, like he wasn't negating the fact that I'm talented, but he was exposing the fact that I'm still afraid to show who I really am. That I'm still afraid to step outside that box. And so when he did that, it really tore down just the ego that surrounded that project for me. And then when you got to bars, that's when I had to think. Like, I had an epiphany. The first song that I was making for bars was actually Farewell. Like, Chuck Acid made the beat for me. And I'm listening to the beat, and I have healthy fear. So I was laying down, right? And this is where the transparency was birthed in its infancy, right? I was laying down, and I was thinking about all the rappers that got exposed by niggas in the hood, whether they stole their chain. I remember one video where this rapper was like, I remember like the Joey Jihad video. That's a great example. You feel me? Like they had him rapping. You mean they stayed and they knocked him the hell out. You mean? And that is the very first thing we think about when we think about Joey Jihad Forever. And that put the fear of God in me, dog. I said, yo, what if I blow up and the niggas who knew Eli when Eli had trauma exposed times when I backed down from a fight. It exposed the time when the bull chunked me on my porch, where I lived, stepped into my crib and told me to do something and I didn't do shit. What if that happened? They're gonna tell a story that doesn't have the substance. They're not gonna be able to provide the proper context. Yeah, Bull gonna talk about the fact that I got chunked on my porch, but he's not gonna be able to explain the story of me watching my brother get trashed by grown men at 16 years old to the point that he was almost unconscious. Like I saw that at 11 years old. They're not gonna be able to tell those building blocks. Exactly. I said, yo, I gotta tell it first. So nobody can get the story fucked up.
I remember when I saw him perform this joint at Uptown Open Mic. That shit, it was, I don't know if I listened to it like earlier that week, or I might have listened to it later. But
you told me you heard it earlier, but you couldn't finish.
Yeah.
I was really coming at somebody.
Yeah, so that's what it was. So I started the song, like I listened to the tape, and I think I started that song and I didn't finish it. So I'm at Uptown Open Mic, he performing this song, and he talking about the ball in the building right now. And I'm looking around, the crowd looking around. Yo, that is an amazing performance song. Like, especially if you didn't hear it, then it's like, yo, this nigga in the building? Damn, he's a savage. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to call him out right now. And then then it just switch up. And it's like, wow, that was a moment. Like,
thank you.
That shit was dope.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, no, that song started. So that song was the starting point of that whole body of work. You feel me? And what I what I realized when I released it is that the very thing that I deemed to be something that wasn't important or something that wasn't interesting just turned out to be the most relatable shit ever. Like me talking about being stuck in my mom's house and begging my mom, please let me go outside, because if you don't, I'm just gonna sneak out anyway.
Yeah.
Talking about, you know, missing different social waves and just fashion trends and different things like that. I didn't realize how relatable they were to so many people, you know? Like,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It'd be so relatable. Like, we all be going through similar stuff, but it's like we not sharing it, so we don't know how relatable it is. Mm-hmm. And then the way you packaged it and delivered it, and it's like, how can you, come on, you fuck with this joint on multiple levels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I would say that intention evolved in, like, so it started off as, yo, I gotta tell my truth because I'm scared that people are gonna expose it in the perverted way. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, yo, if I tell my truth, it builds my confidence.
Yeah.
I don't have to hide. And if I have confidence, then that admiration that we have for pimps and drug dealers and killers, they can see that in me now. Like kids, like anytime I work with my kids, I'm always fresh. Feel me? Like I always make sure that I'm on point, so that when they looking at me, they're like, wow, like this man literally talks about all the embarrassing things that go on, and people still respect him, and he still can look like that. That's something that I want to be. So even if music isn't their passion, they can put that same vulnerability into whatever they trying to do.
That's a fact, because you living in your truth,
yep,
and you being authentic to who you are, mm-hmm. and that's a great job to inspire anybody, you know what I'm saying, listening or come across your path to do the same thing, because you don't, like, when you live in your truth and you authentic to yourself, like, you in your own lane, like, you don't need to hop on no waves or nothing, because you are uniquely you, and nobody could take that away from you. Like, whatever you do is going to be your genetic blueprint, mm-hmm. and
facts.
You winning if you know what I mean, you tap into who you are, know thyself, and you whatever you apply that to is going to be you. Because people be worried about it. They be like, oh, you know, a lot of people, like for women, a lot of people already do, you know, makeup, or all these people do hair, or mm-hmm. all these people rap already. Why should I? It's because if you connect to that, mm-hmm. and it speaks to you, then you're going to do it differently, no matter what it is. Everybody could be doing it, but the way you're going to deliver it is going to be different from everybody else, because you know who you are, and boom.
Can I add more gems on top of those gems? And when you being true to yourself, you'll be able to discern whether that career that you're pursuing is really meant for you or not. You feel me? Like I would say that one of the things that I'm seeing is just the oversaturation of different things.
Yeah.
So like rapping, if more people was just more honest, like, bro, even if you have skill, mm-hmm. like, bro, you got the skill, you're not an MC though. I mean, and just having that honest conversation, like, yo, maybe you should put that passion into something else.
Yeah.
I mean, and find out what that something is, because it's gonna do a couple of things. One, is gonna free you from the burden of feeling like you gotta prove something to everybody. Mm-hmm. You don't gotta prove nothing to nobody but yourself. And two, it's gonna put you in alignment with other people who are called to share your purpose but don't have anybody as a barometer.
Yeah. To
like show them that this is possible. It's a lot of young niggas out here that's future chess prodigies right now, but can't nobody awaken that element in them because don't nobody want to play chess. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Or like, you know, it don't just gotta be a lawyer or a doctor. Like, there's so many avenues that can be explored.
And that's the thing. Like, we're not exposed to a lot of things growing mm-hmm. up, and the fact that, you know what I'm saying, it's all about chasing the bag or getting to the money.
Yeah, you're so limited.
Yeah, like, that's understandable. Like, we gotta get the money, but it's like, that creates the oversaturation because you see one example winning and it's like, oh, now I gotta do that because that's all I know. It's talking about the oversaturation of, you know, areas because we chasing the bad versus chasing our passion and being in tune with ourselves and knowing, having that discernment basically, like you were saying, like you couldn't stay at jobs because like you wasn't feeling it or you got fired. And I was the same way. Like I was at UPS and I walked in one day and I was like, yo, I got dip. They like, you don't got another job or nothing? I'm like, no, I just gotta get out of here. Like, I don't care about none of this shit, bro. Facts.
Right.
So yeah, they was confused. They like, look, if you ever want to come back, you know, I appreciate that. Yeah, nah, that's true.
Yo, and that's something that a lot of people don't have. Now, granted, I don't recommend that for everybody.
Right.
I mean, like obviously, if you got kids, you got to pay rent or something. Stick around a little bit.
Responsibilities.
Yeah, feel me?
Yeah, I don't got those. So that's why you could make no type of move.
Right.
But no, if you got children, you got a wife, you got family you gotta take care of, definitely your responsibilities come first. But some of us is blessed to be able to move around more freely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make those type of wild choices. But
and I think you touched on something that was very important. We're very limited to our possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, so I graduated from Gratz, and I remember when we was in the library, and I looked at the yearbooks, and I started going back into the 70s. Like Gratz been the black school forever. They had tennis teams. They had lacrosse teams. Like they had so many different clubs. And I'm like, oh snap! Like, all right. So I started to see the dynamic. Like, all right, cool.
Diversity.
This is premeditated on us. Like, yo, let's take over everything. You mean? That's why it's important to, like, I always tell people, yo, if you don't walk in your purpose, we gonna keep blaming the school district, and the school district just gonna keep. We apologize and never changing nothing. Feel me? And what I love, I don't even want to dive into it because I feel like you pretty much go and ask the question, but just pretty much like I say that to say that when you walk into your purpose, you're able to create those possibilities that you had to wrestle to find in yourself, and you can make it easier. Not easy because without struggle there's no progress, but it's a lot easier to pinpoint like, oh, that's dope. Like maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. But if it's just rapping, playing basketball. Now, granted, I just happen to be somebody that actually had the gift and saw the passion in rapping, so it worked. You know what I mean? But let's say I really didn't want to be a rapper.
Right.
I'd have been asked out. You know what I mean?
Yo, because like he was saying, like, we got to stop placing the blame on, like, everything, our environment, our circumstances. Yeah. To some extent, you got to take responsibility, boss up, and take the power in which you have and the power in which your community has and put it together. We got the resources, so it's like, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta team up and put that work in. And to the point of diversity, that's what I was gonna say. I was at this class and the boy was using the example of archery. Bulls making $10,000 in an archery competition. First place, or I think he was saying like just to even, be in that joint, to come in first, second, or third, you get like a lot of money. And it's like, yo, archery I want to learn archery. Yeah. That's fun. Like just on some athletic type time and some, or just pool tournaments. Like it's so many different type joints. Even like he was saying, they took the programs out of school with like construction and stuff like that. Bro, they got so many like construction programs where they pay you to learn it. And then you get into the union, you making what doctors are making, bro. And you spent the same amount of time learning these trades, whether that's carpentry, electrician, whether that's plumbing, pipe, steel work. Like carpentry, one of the lowest, you making 40, 50,000. But finished carpentry is different. You making more because it's more detail. Electrician is making 80,000. You know what I'm saying? And then you could go into the union and you could do your work on the side. Yeah. So it's like, and you getting money. The government gives you grants and stuff to fund your own company, like minority companies and all that. It's all this game in that field that we don't hear about or talk about. But shout out to TFAD, Trace for a Difference. They put in the work in. It's other programs in the community. I be sharing them Jones. You tap into, Trace for a Difference and stuff. They always sharing these type Jones, but it's that awareness, it's that diversity, us being represented in these areas, and man, these conversations. You feel me?
Yeah, bro. You just dropped a atomic gem on these niggas, bro. Hey, bro.
Got to, bro. We got to. It's only right.
Yeah.
So, battle rap.
Yeah.
Switch it up. Yo. How he laughing? That's how battle rap be having me, bro. I be cracking up, yo. Bro, battle rap be the funniest thing ever. It's like hood poetry, like hood niggas get to express themselves and get paid for it.
It's aggressive, but it's so intimate at the same time.
Yeah, like it didn't be different styles and like different So who you mess with in the battle rap space? Like
I gotta dive back into the battle rap space because I know that they got their own platform now.
Yeah.
Somebody who I've always been a fan of is Daylight.
Did you see the Tay Rock Daylight?
I see the
clips?
hot take on Instagram.
Like clips.
I gotta watch that John.
It's like a review type John.
So the Caffeine app would play like an ad.
Okay.
And they show Daylight doing this dope Flintstone punchline.
Yeah.
I gotta check that John out.
Oh man. My gosh. So they are on the Caffeine John. That's the thing. Like you gotta catch it live. But somehow
it still end up on YouTube?
No. So my man's, cause I was trying to watch the Tay Rock Murder Mook joint.
Yeah.
So I downloaded the Caffeine joint. No, I downloaded the URL app. My man was telling me, and it was like I was trying to watch it, but it was acting weird. So he's like, he's gonna give me the login. Right. But somehow somebody sent me a link when the Daylight and Tay Rock joint came out, and I got to watch it. That joint was crazy.
Man,
it was
I know it was.
Yeah, he was snapping. He was snapping.
No, that's my favorite. Like, I just love the way that he break just his punchlines and all that down. I love his timing.
Yeah.
I love his delivery. Like he different. He's amazing. Yo, fun fact. I actually lost my first battle rap to a girl. Yeah, it was in the 10th grade. Shout out to Simone. But I lost because of my stutter. Like, I got to I was too caught up in the euphoria, and I tried to rap. So rapping a cappella used to be hard for me when I first started rapping because if it didn't have a beat, then my speech impediment would kick in. But I was also like shocked by how fire she was, cause like she just came out of nowhere, like just started going in.
Yeah.
And when it was my turn, I was just like, oh snap, like, and I started rapping. I fumbled. It was like, oh, Mom fried you. But the next year though, she tried to be cocky and she didn't know that I've been working on my pen from 10th grade to 11th grade.
Yeah, she got they ain't gonna happen again. Bro.
She got obliterated bad.
Ain't gonna catch me sleeping.
I've only lost battles to women. That's the crazy part. I lost the poetry versus hip hop joint to Lyrespect. It was real close, but she won that joint. Yeah, so I've only lost to women.
That's not a bad loss.
No, that's actually fire.
In
my book, I love that dynamic of my story. Like, but that just show that niggas, y'all not really like, y'all don't want no smoke. Y'all don't want no smoke.
Y'all want that? Come on, man.
For real.
Speaking on women, She Can't Save Me.
Yeah.
How has the perspective, your relationship perspective, evolved over the years?
Okay.
And just the dynamic, how we view women,
yeah,
stereotypes and all that, how we be moving. And
yeah. So being stuck in a house led me to be a really big movie head, and not having a lot of affection from my mom. My mom took care of me fundamentally. But that emotional finance, she didn't give to me.
Right.
You feel me? That's just me being real, and I would yearn for that through the movies and the songs that I would listen to, and I would say that in a lot of American film and a lot of American like music, especially black music, we we as men look to women to fill voids in us, like any kind of void. But so when I watched the movie, like it would, if it was like a romantic comedy or like any kind of romance film, the man kind of always threw everything away for the woman. Like, oh, I'll give up my dreams for you. Feel me? Yeah. And I'll give up this, like I'll give up my friends. I'll give up my life. I'll give up my way of living. I'll give up all of that for you. Or you had the film, like The Nice Guy finishes last film where the woman cheats on him or something like that. So there's either a very toxic form of codependency or a toxic form of processing hurt that has been taught to us as men living in America. Like, I feel like that had to be acknowledged. So I'll say, speaking on me, I was always a hopeless romantic, and I always got played because somehow, some way, I always will show the woman that she's the best thing I got going on in my life right now. And a lot of people would see that as romantic, but really that's a bad John, because if you're the best thing that's going on in my life, I'm putting a lot of pressure on you now. Like, you gotta make me happy. You gotta make me comfortable. You gotta make me feel confident. You have to make me feel like I have a purpose in this world. And to put that kind of pressure on a human is just not cool. Feel me? So, and I would say that I was also chasing my mom in a lot of instances. So I didn't lose my virginity till I was 17. But I would say prior to that, I thought I lost my virginity at 13. I thought. And the only reason why I lost my virginity was because I grew up in an environment where if you was a virgin at a certain age, niggas would come at you. Like something crazy. Yeah, like you was gay.
Right.
You ain't get no shorties. And that was like taboo growing up where I grew up. So I grew up in Albany, and I spent weekends and summers in West Philly where my pop lived. You know what I mean? So in the social dynamic of Albany, I don't really remember a lot of old heads being in that neighborhood. So we didn't really have a barometer of how to be men. So the people who I saw was men. If I'm 13 and you 16, I see you as an OG.
Reference point, yeah.
I mean, period. And men don't. A lot of men don't have real friendships growing up.
Facts.
They have good partnerships. We gonna get this money together. We gonna get these shorties together. Those are the top two things, and that's what I saw. So when it came to me growing up, I saw girls as friends. You know what I mean? Any kind of intimacy was kind of like a puppy love kind of thing. Like, holding hands for me was the shit. Like, period. If I kissed a girl in the lips, that was like the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like a pet. You know what I mean? If a girl kissed me on my cheek, if a girl hugged me, that was all that. You feel me? Losing my virginity killed that. Meaning losing my virginity killed my childhood. Period. And I only lost my virginity because I wanted my niggas to see me differently. Like, I wanted the people who I saw as cool, who I saw as men, to look at me like, oh, all right, you got my respect now. But what I never told people was how afraid I was when I was in the act. What I never told people was how I had to traumatize myself by forcing myself to watch porn. Like, bro, let's be real. Vagina look real scary when you 13, dog. What the hell is
what
that?
Is this?
What is that? You know what I mean? I had to cut the laptop off. Like, yo, this is what y'all look like. Like, and it shook me, but I wanted respect so bad, bro. I forced myself to watch all that stuff, and it poisoned the idea of intimacy. And intended for him.
Yeah.
And like I will never forget this shorty she was real cool. She was real sweet. I mean, and I basically psychologically manipulated her. I didn't really grasp that at the time because I'm still young come into my crib, and I was about to penetrate, but the child in me just won that battle, bro. Like I was thinking of kids. At that time, my older sister, my dad's side, she was 16 and pregnant. So many thoughts was just wrapping in my mind that my innocence kind of interceded. Like, bro, you don't want that in me. Yeah. But I thought that because I tried to penetrate, that I lost it. You know, being young and dumb. Like, like I stuck the tip in, you mean? So boom, I'm not a virgin, you mean? And I went back to school, and it's crazy because when I told my mans, they immediately ran to ask her. I said, oh, shit. And oddly enough, I don't know if it was her ignorance, not really knowing what it's supposed to feel like, but she told them, yeah, like we did it. You mean? So it gave me the respect, but I lost a friend. I mean, like Shorty was mad cool, and that kind of evolved into different instances. So the person who I lost my virginity to was one of my close friends in West Philly when I traveled, and I had a crush on her since I was 16. And that very day that I lost my virginity to her, I didn't look at her as the beautiful woman that I thought she was. I started to look at what I perceived to be her flaws because I couldn't see my flaws as beautiful. So I looked at everything wrong with her, and you know that with so many teachings that I got from niggas, like, yo, like any kind of love that I showed to a woman, it got defeated by the theory that niggas ran trains on her or something like that. Bro, you like that, Shorty, man? Shorty gave my man top like that. Yeah. So all of that kind of always manifested itself into that innocent kind of love and attraction that I would try to have with a woman. So right after I got what I wanted, which was the sex, it like my attraction to her just started to plummet. And it's crazy because I actually contacted her recently, like, yo, what I did was out of pocket, and me being a 24-year-old grown man, like, I apologize, like that was not cool. You know what I mean? So fast forward, I would say my last relationship with Soraya, it was real love, like, and it still is real love. Like I still love that woman, but I didn't love myself, bro. So, and I spoke about this in my music. What a lot of people didn't know was how much pressure I put on Soraya to love me in a way that I can't love myself. You feel me? And I learned a lot from her. Like, I learned how to carry shoes. Like, that confidence that I have now, she was the barometer for that. I had zero. Yeah, so I was saying that confidence that I had, she was the barometer for it. Like, she was really big on problem solving. Right? And during the time of our relationship, I was really broke. I didn't really have a lot of vision. I had low self-esteem, despite all of the success and the milestones that I was making. And I would complain to her, like, about everything, because it was a couple of elements that we missed. Like, we didn't have no friends. Like, we didn't really have people who we could really confide in. So, and we, like there were things that was missing that we used each other for constantly. At school. Yeah, so, whether it be like my issue with my parents or something like that, I would look to her to fill that void, and I never, like, I always put her before my purpose, and it grew a resentment towards her because she couldn't save me from the issues that I was going through. She couldn't save me from myself, and I became my own villain that she just couldn't stop. So anytime that she would try to give a solution, I would shun her. Anytime that I felt like she wasn't giving me enough of this or enough of that, I would make her feel bad about it. You feel me? And a lot of people don't realize that. So when I saw what it was coming to, I had to take it upon myself to break it off because it's like, dog, like you gonna ruin this girl life. And you gonna keep fucking yourself up. You gonna get together. So after that, I was just going through I was going through separation pain. The pandemic hit. Oh my God, bro! I was stuck in an inefficiency for months, over 30 days, and
inefficiency.
Yeah, so in the efficiency apartment is basically like a space where you create the space. So like my bed, my kitchen, like of course there was a bathroom and shower and all that, but you basically work with what you got. It's cheaper than the studio apartment. Okay. So, but it felt like staying in like solitary confinement, like with like a bunch of stuff and like a phone. So dealing with porn addiction, dealing with being a chronic masturbator, like just a lot of things like that. It didn't do nothing but hurt me, and I found myself. I would say like fast forward to the summer, I was in a moment where I got suicidal because nothing was working. You feel me? Like I put out Quarantine Dreams. Feel me? That joint got 60,000. That was dope. I put out She Can't Save Me. Like I finally, even after I came across the epiphanies that I had, and I reflected on them, like I said, music is just a catalyst. Music is just a processor of what it is that I'm dealing with. But I still didn't deal with it. I didn't know how. So I was on a train and I was nobody texted me. I wasn't getting calls from anybody. And there wasn't nobody's fault or anything like that. I had to deviate from my parents for a little while, and so I was detached from everything that I would cling to. You feel me? Can't really see nobody because of the coronavirus and all that. So I was sitting on the platform, and I just was like, yo, like I don't even want to be here, like. And I just started to flirt with it, with the idea with myself, like, yeah, like, what if you wasn't here? Like, maybe things would just be better. Like, and I saw the train coming. I started picturing myself jumping in front of this train. I was calculating the amount of pain that I wouldn't feel because of the shock and all that. And I got on the train and I realized, yo, I'm suicidal right now. And I started hyperventilating, and people couldn't see it because I had a mask on. And I started having a panic attack because I couldn't believe that somebody as strong-willed as me could have suicidal thoughts. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I realized that I had to change, and I realized that I had to like really dive into my mind and just really gain an understanding for who I am. Granted, me and Chuck started to hang out more, and we started to study male psychology, female psychology. We started to study hypergamy and just different things like that. I don't I want to be with one woman, you mean? But I just started to learn the psychology of being on your purpose. Feel me? Not always putting yourself first. Not putting a woman. Not putting this person, that person. Not putting that person over anything that you got going on.
Right.
And like just understanding that if you live in your purpose, everything else is gonna come into place.
It's going along with it.
You know what I mean? So I just start asking myself, and something else that I learned that kind of gave me a new perspective was like, yo, don't focus on your weaknesses, strengthen your strengths. It acknowledge what your weak points are, but and the analogy they gave was when you in a gym and you know that one arm is weak, why would you stop working out your strong arm and focusing on the weak arm? You feel me? You gotta continue to strengthen that arm that is the strongest, so that while you're learning how to strengthen their weaknesses, you're still able to strengthen your strengths. And I really had to learn, like, yo, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And I started asking myself questions. then I started learning about semen retention, like, and just the science of of our semen as men. Like, it's a lot of testosterone, it's a lot of nutrients.
Yeah.
Me being a chronic masturbator, I'm like, dog, no wonder I'm about to kill myself. My testosterone level is done. Like that shit don't even exist right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and how porn kind of kills, the authentic experience of a woman when it comes to intimacy, just different things like that. I'm not even just talking about sex. Like, I'm talking about those things that I thought was the shit as a kid.
Yeah, facts.
Like, holding a girl hand, I'm supposed to feel a strong attraction. Like,
yeah.
just from a woman's touch, and porn kills that because you always want what you see on that screen.
Desensitized.
Yeah, feel me? And it was just so many other things. So I would say during She Can't Save Me, I learned to pinpoint the issue.
Mm-hmm.
After She Can't Save Me is when I came up with the solutions. So yeah, just to sum it all up. Yeah.
It's heavy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Vulnerability, yeah.
Yo, can I even add on to that?
For sure.
So when it came to the shirts, right? Mind you, I don't wear orange, bro. I don't wear orange at all. But I had to ask myself, like, all right, I don't want to work a 9 to 5, but I also don't want to be a starving artist.
Yeah.
So I have to think of different streams of income that I could make for myself, and with that, what am I passionate about, right? Mm-hmm. I've always sold merch, but I never really took time to really strategize what it is that I was doing. So I was gonna do a She Can't Save Me showcase, which is still happening, but there were variables that just had to push it back, which is more than fine. What I did was I learned how to make overviews of my shows. Something I learned from Soraya, you feel me? How to really put shows together and how to create the vision and the intention. Because, like I said, it's not the product itself, but the intention, right? Okay. So when I thought of the shirt, I'm like, yo, I have to create a vision, because something else that I was studying was like a CEO's mindset. Well, that Chuck was putting me on to was the CEO's mindset and the mindset of a king. And they said that when it comes to a CEO, and we were studying pimps too. Like, how can a pimp get a woman to sell their body? You know what I mean? Of course, we not out here trying to pimp, but it's still capitalism in play. Facts. And I started watching like black exploitation films, like ones that were written by black people, not the ones where the white people started drawing. But there's this one genre called Willie Dynamite, and in the beginning of the movie, he was like the second top pimp in New York City, and there was a scene where he was talking to the woman, and the woman didn't have enough cash, and he said, yo, they don't want your body, they want the fantasy that comes with your body. They want the feelings that they feel. Like, I feel like this because I'm with this beautiful woman. I'm in this 5-star hotel, and it blew my mind, because I'm like, because while he was saying that, the woman was so attracted to him to the point that she wanted to have sex with him, and he was like, not now. First, give me what I need, and it gave her the energy to do what it was that she had to do. Granted, do I condone that? No. But what I learned from that was like, yo, I have to have a vision. And something that I also learned was a king is not somebody who hides their vulnerability. A king is somebody who expresses what they're weak at to their counsel. I'm like, all right, bet. So it drew me to really dive into a study when it came to these shirts. Like, yo, why do I want these shirts? All right, what is the idea? The idea is to one, influence men to learn about who they are. 2, let women know, yo, it's not your job to be this nigga mom. Period. So I started researching. Did you know that police respond to more than 100,000 calls a year that are domestic in nature in Philly? Over 100. Something else I found out is that domestic violence intersects with poverty, homelessness, and job instability. Compared with the citywide poverty rate of 27%, 31% are African Americans, 41% are Hispanic, and half of that are are single mothers with children who live in poverty. So everything intersects with just the mistreatment of women and like the in the downfall of black relationships.
Right.
Feel me? And that all intertwines with the economy that we bring to each other when our relationships are intact. Feel me? When you have the 2-parent household, feel me, and they both are fulfilling the duties that they believe that they have to fill to make the household thrive, to help the generations after them to thrive. And I said, yo, this is it. I broke this down to everybody that was in the shoot. Yo, this is my vision. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I need you, because not only do I increase your value, but you're gonna increase mine. By the time we was at that shoot and them pictures posted, niggas thought that the girl I was shooting with was my girl, bro.
Yo, they assume that all the time. Like, even when I post pics with my friends on the gram, they be like, yo, that's your girl?
Right.
Or just you hanging with women, they assume that. So, of course they're going to do that.
Feel me? And I got the shirts, right? And shout out to you, because not even an hour after I got the box, I sold my first tee. And you was the first person that copped that, John. So I appreciate that to the fullest. And the shirt sold out in less than 2 weeks. I mean,
that's a blessing. I think last month was Domestic Awareness Month.
I didn't even know
either last month or this month, but yeah, it's crazy how that aligned. And it's to that point. Basically, like the Walter Wallace situation, like that was like a domestic call. And then it evolved into like what it was, and that happened like a block over from like where I'm staying.
Wow.
And it's crazy because like that the neighborhood, it'd be a lot going on in the neighborhood. A lot of those people know each other though, and they like everybody in that neighborhood know each other except for like me and Reeves, because we knew on the block. But even that next day, it was a domestic situation going on. Like I'm outside on the phone, and shorty, like I thought it was 2 women like screaming at each other. Reeves come out, he like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, I don't even know. Like I'm about to go back in the house. I go back in the house, I'm still on the phone, minding your business. Right. That's what we tell ourselves. Reeves go out there, so I go back out there. I'm still on the phone. He see like it's a dude, so the shorty trying to turn up on the dude. Reeves intervening, trying to get the dude to calm down. I get off the phone. I see shorty walking down the street with some type of broomstick weapon, trying to take dude head off. And so we end up intervening in that situation, and we literally spent 4 hours basically talking to both of them separately, us switching off, talking to them. I'm talking to shorty and her mom. Reeves talking to the bull. Like, it's a lot going on. And shorty went through trauma in her life. Like, she saw her mom getting abused, her grandma getting abused. And bull, he going through, you know what I mean? His peoples died, his dad died. Like, you know what I'm saying? All this going on. And it's like, but we don't have the community to like, and it's like 12 in the morning. Nobody else out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to be more involved as a community and like really become a part of each other's lives and help where we can, because that, if we wasn't there, like it could have turned up way more, or it could have been another situation with the police or something like that. So we just we really gotta be better as a, stepping in and helping one another, because it's you don't know like how that could save somebody in a sense. So yeah, it's important.
You brought it together like perfectly, bro.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta move this thing forward.
Uh-huh.
What does success look like to you?
Success looks like me doing what it is that I love and a whole lot of comfort. So like, what makes me uncomfortable right now? Bills.
Yeah. I
hate the fact that sometimes I have to deviate from what I love doing because I gotta pay bills. You feel me? Success to me also looks like having wealth, and I don't just mean money having wealth and influence. You feel me? I'm a really big fan of Naruto. I mean, everybody that listens to my music know that the She Can't Save Me font is a Naruto font. I mean, like I'm very consistent with that because that anime literally changed my outlook on what it means to be involved in community. What I love about the whole synopsis of that show is every ninja literally wants to be the best so they can teach this little kid to be even better than them, and the cycle continues. So that's what success looks like to me. So me, if I'm gonna be the Hokage of Philly, I have to be the best sensei, and I have to formulate the best teams. That's what success looks like to me. Success to me looks like me having a family cookout as like a grandfather or great grandfather, but it's not about ribs. It's not just about the electric slide, but it's about changing the whole culture around what a cookout looks like. So me, like, and I've always said this: when I'm at a cookout, by the time people leave from that cookout, at the minimum, everybody should have been able to discuss what it is that's going on in their life, whether it be family grudges, whether it be struggle, and everybody should leave with an opportunity. So if this cousin is having trouble finding a job, I should have built the infrastructure for that cousin to be able to hire that cousin, for that cousin to be able to invest in that cousin, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's what. These are the different layers of success for me.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So yeah, talking about I don't know how much we're gonna get into it, but we're gonna try. Yeah. Your evolution, man. Yeah. Your health journey. Yeah. Cooking. Yeah. Working out. Mm-hmm. It's been beautiful to see, to watch your progress as far as like you getting into it, you cooking, whipping up meals on the gram. The joint you posted the other day, I'm like, that joint fire.
Like tacos?
Yeah. Like, yo, low key in the chef bag.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah. Can you just talk about your evolution?
Yeah, for sure. I went cold turkey vegan after I watched With the Health. Wasn't necessary. Now, I'll be honest, is not because I love animals so much.
Right.
Nah, it ain't because of that. It's because I saw the predatory social targets of what the food industry is like coming at black, like people of color. Yeah. And that really fucked me up when I saw the scene where the people who ran the slaughterhouses, like all the feces was being shot at.
Yeah, in the Carolinas and stuff.
Yeah, and they got like diabetes and asthma just immediately, just different things like that. I'm like, yo, how can I support something like that? And I was looking at my health. You mean, like, at that point, I started noticing, I can perform, but damn, I can't breathe. And I couldn't do what my soul wanted to do. My soul wants to be able to jump around and still be able to get every syllable of every line out clearly when I'm rapping. Feel me? Like, and I pay very close attention to just things that I want to do. So like when it comes to my future wife, yes, I want to be able to please her on all aspects, like, and I wanted to empower us when it comes to the cooking, when it comes to the sex, when it comes to my mind state, when it comes to how I look. How can I want to have a shorty that's working out, that got a nice frame, that got healthy hair, some beautiful lips, and I'm over here fat as shit?
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to be what I want to see, because we marry each other. And 3, I'm sick and tired of seeing grandfathers die like 60-something, at 70-something. Like, I want to be a great grandfather, and at minimum, at least be able to jog with my great grandkids. Like,
that same energy.
Yeah. Like, we don't have enough grandfathers, which means that we don't have enough stories about us.
Wisdom being passed down.
Yeah, so that's what started. And now, granted, I'm the kind of vegan to where if I feel like eating some chicken, I'm gonna eat some damn chicken.
Right.
Like, period. But it's still a discipline to take.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fall as soon as I eat the chicken. I'm like, all right, cool. It's about to be winter. I don't even want to give the mucus a chance to turn up. No, I need my white blood cells to keep jumping these niggas. All right, bet. Let's get back into it. Feel me? So yeah, that's kind of what sparked it. I actually never cooked until I went vegan.
And that's similar to my man's Najla. Like she started, she's a chef now.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
She started cooking what she got in her vegan bag, and that's so beautiful. Cause I still need to get in my cooking bag. It's on the way. It's on the way. But dang, there was a point you were saying that had me about to say something.
I think it was the grandfather John. Was it that John?
No,
I was talking about grandfathers. I was talking about having a wife, being what I want the woman to be. What else I say? I was talking about the
cooking.
I was talking about the black plight involved in meat industries. What else?
It's cool. We gonna keep it moving. We ain't got that much time.
You right.
But yeah. To the point of the chicken situation, it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's no perfect, ideal way to, with this health situation. My main thing with people is be aware of how to heal yourself. As long as you know how to heal yourself, you could wild out, you know what I'm saying? But if you come across, you feel yourself coming down with something or being affected by illness or so on and so forth, you know how to get back in your bag to heal yourself. And that's what's most important. And to inspire others to heal themselves possibly. Like, that's what it's all about. Because then you got the freedom that, like, you could eat meat, but just don't eat it all the time if you know it's affecting your energy and your lifestyle, and you know it don't digest the best or it don't give you the most energy. Like, that's what it comes down to. It's not about, shaming your lifestyle. Or it's just a different approach how I'm coming at it. And
and if you want to turn up in so many levels, bro, like, listen, I'll tell you, as a person who was pescatarian, vegetarian, being vegan, when I hit that stage, when I'm speaking to people, shoot, I even study babies who like from birth are vegan, and their development is crazy. Like they're like their ability to be aware is just ridiculous to see. So I mean, I'll say at the very least, and I learned this from you, eat if you're gonna eat the chicken and all that shit, like, eat more plants. Don't let the chicken be the primary source of your
facts. And that's how it is in like Eastern culture. It's like only in America. Chicken, we eat so much chicken, it's a big joint, but they eat it over there, but it's smaller portions. Even back in the day over here, it was in smaller portions, and the big portions were for the rich people, quote unquote. Like they ate the chickens and all that. Like, we got the scraps, and we finessed, and, you know what I'm saying, created soul food. But back in the day, our grandparents knew what herbs to go in the foraging, grab. They had better connection with nature and healing. But so the remedies, when we did get sick, they had the remedies. But we, like he was saying, the grandparents is transitioning earlier, so we lacking that knowledge. With the crack epidemic and all that, broke up the communities. Like, it's so many ways that this is against us, but we are smart enough to turn this around and get this shit back rolling on our side. So we just gotta take that responsibility. And that's something I wanted to say to him. Like, I respect the fact that he acknowledged, like, yo, I'm fucking up right now as far as relationship wise, and like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of niggas will just keep rocking out with a shorty, and like, because it's selfish. Like, I'm a ruin you while ruining me, and we just gonna be miserable together.
And that's where the domestic abuse come in. That's where shit come in on both sides. You gotta have the courage to, like, harness the pain of what's gonna come, and just look at the reward. Like, yes,
Yeah.
the risk is goddamn I broke this girl heart. I mean, and me as the person who broke up with my ex, I cried for a month straight because even though I was the one that cut the cord, it hurt. Like, just period. You know what I mean?
Cause it ain't like what you want to do, but it's like something you gotta do.
Got
like,
to.
yeah.
Got to.